just lit the fire, and now you wanna put it out. You gave it all you got, and what you got is not a lot. Why don't you hand it over? Time is up, you've had your shot. Together once again, disasters in the end, it's like a default.
Ja, daar zijn we dan. Welkom allemaal hier vanmiddag in de Kromhouthal. Ook mensen die via de livestream volgen natuurlijk. We zijn hier met z'n allen bij elkaar om vanmiddag in de Creative Meetup in Amsterdam te zijn. Er gaat een fantastisch evenement plaatsvinden wat heet de Creative Jam. Maar liefst 12 teams gaan vanmiddag met elkaar strijden in 2 categorieën. Motion design en graphic design. En ja, dat betekent dat we daarvoor natuurlijk ook een hele hoop teams bij elkaar verzameld hebben. Dat hebben we gedaan op allerlei verschillende manieren. Een van de dingen die we gebruikt hebben is Behance. Een van de manieren om je te etaleren, maar ook om gevonden te worden natuurlijk in de markt. Goed, het idee vandaag is dat we zo meteen gaan beginnen met een keynote. Daarvoor ga ik zo meteen op podium halen Michael Chaize en Rufus Deuchler. Zij hebben gisteren een Creative Jam gedaan in Berlijn. Zijn vanochtend deze kant op gekomen om ook vandaag de hele dag hier aanwezig te zijn. Dus fantastisch dat we dat kunnen doen op die manier. En natuurlijk ontzettend gaaf dat we met zoveel mensen bij elkaar zijn. 12 teams en een hele hoop mensen die ook uit die creatieve wereld hier verzameld zijn om gedurende deze dag eigenlijk dit hele evenement bij te wonen. Wat gaat er gebeuren? Zometeen gaan we starten met de keynote. Na afloop van de keynote betekent het dat de teams eigenlijk aan de slag gaan en eigenlijk op basis van het creatieve proces wat we kunnen gaan volgen via de Creative Jam Reports. We zullen tussentijds dus met de camera gaan volgen wat mensen eigenlijk allemaal aan het doen zijn. Voor de mensen die hier zijn en ook overigens online in de livestream is het mogelijk om dit geheel allemaal te gaan volgen. Dat betekent dat we eigenlijk met de camera's zullen gaan rondlopen. Daarnaast zijn er een drietal sprekers, een drietal partijen uit die creatieve markt die komen vertellen over hun werk, hun inspiratie en hoe zij eigenlijk tot al dit soort dingen gaan komen, hoe dat geëvalueerd is, waar ze staan, wat ze willen gaan doen. Ja, eigenlijk een enorme draaikolk van creativiteit vanmiddag. Voor de teams betekent het dat zij natuurlijk een thema hebben gekregen vanmiddag waar ze mee aan de slag moeten. Dat thema gaan we straks bekendmaken. Ik ga eerst op het podium halen Rufus en Michael. Welkom, kom deze kant op. I will switch to English for a moment. Hi guys, yes. Welcome you here. We're really glad to have you here. I think you have some great stuff to show us. So the show is yours.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Hi everyone.
Hello,
Hi
everyone.
Amsterdam. So I am Michael and he's Rufus. Yeah, just in case. So today we are here to celebrate creativity, inspiration, and the new creatives. So what do we mean by new creatives? We are talking about people who are always connected, who want to create everywhere, at any time, and also who like to reinvent themselves. So we are talking about mutations. And there is also another very important concept. They like to share what they are doing and get feedback.
Yeah, and sharing is a very important part in the whole workflow that we're building at Adobe. And the fact that Behance became part of the Adobe family for us is very, very important. Because the sharing activity is huge. We have over 2.5 million creatives on Behance sharing their work, showcasing their work with pro sites, and asking for feedback. As a matter of fact, our creative jammers here today, they will be posting to Behance every 20 minutes the progress of their work, and people will be able to interact with them through their work in progress. And let's see, no.
Yeah, so this is a URL you can find.
This is a URL in behance.net/facts, and this you can see actually how many images are published on the network. It's always growing. All the appreciations, because people can appreciate work on the network, the project views, and then there's also a little box with the most appreciated countries, and I don't see the Netherlands in there.
Oh.
There's something that needs to be done here in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you go back home,
more. Yes.
you open a Behance account and you publish your work.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, is that you, Michael? Yes.
No, it's not me.
Not you.
Who is that? It's the ghost.
I guess it's me. They turned me on.
Oh, you think so?
Yes. Okay. Now go ahead.
Let's talk about mutations then.
Yes. Mutations.
Okay. Mutations. what I mean by mutation is how you can transform what you are doing. So, for instance, you have a lot of photographers who became filmmakers, video makers, thanks to innovation and the technology. You have also a lot of web designers who are now animators and motion designers to combine all these skills to create amazing animations. And also, thanks to technology and innovation, especially in the Creative Cloud, you can launch a technology that will transform some creatives. So if you take the traditional designers, we launched a tool called Adobe Muse so that traditional designers are empowered and can become web designers. And actually, last year, in 2013, 500,000 websites have been published with Adobe Muse, which is a huge success, but also it shows that a lot of creatives, they just want to reinvent themselves. They just want to learn new skills, which is great. And also, there is this concept called ideation.
Ideation.
I
also wrote it down in phonetics.
Okay, thank you.
Ideation. Yes.
Yeah, it's impossible for the Frenchman. No. Ideation. But the thing is that all the creatives, when they have an idea in mind, they are still using a pen and paper to sketch an idea. And this is something where we want to innovate. So that's why Adobe is working on this project called Mighty and Napoleon. And the idea is to launch, so we announced it last year, we unveiled the project last year at Adobe Max, but the idea is to launch this year a stylus and a ruler for the iPad so that you can sketch ideas and share it in the cloud on Behance. And you can find very cool videos on YouTube if you want to see how it works.
Yes, well, Michael, I have a surprise. I was in San Francisco a few weeks ago, and I actually brought a prototype back. And it's actually prototype number 14, and I have it here in this box.
Oh, that's cool. Do you want to see it?
Yes. Do you want to see it? Yes. All right, so first, can you, oh no, you can't hold the microphone for me. It's going to be complicated. We have little Napoleon, because Napoleon was small, right? So it's a small device. It's, you're going to see Michael using it in a second. It's actually a device that helps you create a ruler on the iPad. And the second device, of course, is Mighty. And it's Mighty because it's got all of that power in it. And basically, it's a stylus that is also connected to the Creative Cloud. So you will see that through this little magic button here, there's a whole bunch of things that can be done with Mighty to actually enhance the creative workflow from your ideation. Yes.
Thank you. So the idea is that just using Mighty, so it's a classic stylus, but as you can see, it can handle pressure. You can zoom in the app and maybe take the pen, be very precise, okay? But what is really cool is that when you combine it with Napoleon, so let me move back in time. Actually, I can put 3 fingers and move back in history. Yeah, good. So when you add Napoleon, you can see 2 lines here so that I can become very, very precise and draw lines. But not only lines, because if I tap here, I can change the shape and design, okay, something like
Is that a sunset?
Circle.
A sunset of 2
you want me
suns?
to do a sunset? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, it's a sunset now.
Yes,
yeah,
beautiful.
Then I can also use the context menu and say, I want to change the shape. And of course, I will use the French curves, okay? This is something you have to use, so the French curves. It's used by all the architects, actually. Okay, here you go. And you can also use stamps. So you can define custom shapes, such as Herman Miller chairs. Okay, so do you want this one? This one?
Yes, this one.
Yeah.
This one.
Oh, this one is very cool.
Put it in front of the sun.
Okay, in front of the sun, so it will be orange.
Yep.
With the backlight. Yeah. Oops, sorry. Here you go.
Okay, there you go.
So you can use a stamp and then really start expressing yourself. So let me clean this. But also, as I have this very precise tool, I can start designing as an architect. So this is why we have added a grid, a perspective grid in 3D. Okay, so you can change the grid and say, okay, this is the perspective I like. And so that every time I will add Napoleon here, it will be very precise and follow the perspectives. So why is it useful? Let me show you some works I've already prepared. Okay, so you can do... Oh,
This is
it's
prototype,
loading.
yes.
Yeah. No, it's loading, it's coming actually.
Okay.
Just generating the preview. Here you go. So you can do something like this, okay, using the perspective grid. You can also, let me move back here, prototype a mobile app or do something crazy with geometrics. Or even if you have an idea in mind, so this is a sketch I'm working on. The idea is to take the Creative Cloud logo,
Yes.
you see, and transform it as an espresso cup. Okay?
Wow.
So that
Okay.
you drink coffee and you get creative.
Okay. That is your
That's-
sense of ideation.
Yeah, that's super
Yes,
smart.
okay.
So I can share it on Behance, and eventually what is really cool with Behance is that you have creatives all over the world that will help me, maybe one day,
Yes.
to
Well, I
create
saw
this
your drawing on Behance.
Oh,
and
you follow me on Behance.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
do. Yes,
That's
I do,
cool.
Michael.
Okay.
And I can actually help you with that because actually, let me use your computer for a second. And you know what? You're going to have to hold the microphone for me because I need both my hands.
I can do that.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So basically what I did is take Michael's idea of the cup and drew it out in Illustrator and imported it into Photoshop. And in Photoshop here, when I go to my layers, I can select that smart object, of course, and under 3D, I'll go in here and say, make a 3D extrusion from that layer. And very, very quickly, I get that extruded shape of the logo.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's already coming, right? Now it looks a bit square. Let's see if we can change something. If I take the shape itself, of course, I can change the extrusion depth. So this is more like a coffee mug.
Yeah, I want a coffee
Maybe you can do a coffee mug for the American market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we want the espresso cup here, right? Something more like this.
Okay.
And then I can also, of course, go in here and taper the cup. Something maybe like this.
Good.
Right? And I can also go in here and add some inflation to the top. So let's do that.
Rounded
Yes,
edges.
because you don't want like sharp edges on your lips, right, when you drink your espresso. So very easily, I can do things like that in Photoshop. And I can also then go into the object itself and take some of the, let me go here and select the textures. And I've downloaded a few textures from Photoshop.com, and one of them is shiny plastic. I'm going to transform that like this. And I can also go in here and change the light to see how the light reflects on the cup itself.
Nice.
All right. And so at that point, I can use your espresso cup in an advertisement, for example, and use my 3D in a 2D image. And I can even go further now because I can take that 3D cup that I've created, and let me just take another one that I've modeled a little bit better here. And what I really want to do is to actually make the cup. Okay, so not only see it, but make it. And with Photoshop CC, what I can do now, and let me open my document here, I can press on the print button here, and this will actually launch the 3D printing part of Adobe Photoshop. And first, I can see, of course, the object in here. I can still turn it around and check it out. But when it becomes very interesting is that I can choose also the material I want to print it out with. So it can be metal, plastic. Let's leave, or ceramics, for example, for a cup. So let's leave it plastic white for a second. And then there's, of course, a couple of ways I can do that. I can print to a 3D printer if I have one in my office, like a MakerBot, for example. Or there's a service out there that we've partnered with, which is called Shapeways.com. And this is what I'm going to use. Shapeways basically is a service that you send your 3D model to, and they print it out for you. So all you need to do is to press this little button down here. It's generating all the meshes. It's preparing the object for 3D printing. But Photoshop does a little bit more than that. It also simulates what the object will look like after it is 3D printed. And you know, 3D printing is layer by layer, so Photoshop simulates that here on the side, and I can really get a sense of how the object will actually be printed. And there's also the estimated price that I could get from Shapeways to actually produce that. So let's see what would happen at Shapeways. And this is a MakerBot actually printing the idea that Michael started in his sketching application, that I worked on in Illustrator, brought to Photoshop, extruded, and then simply printed out from there. And yeah, why don't you tell us what happens then?
So Shapeways.com, they have the object, they will print it, and they will eventually ship it one day, and I will get my cup.
Yes.
And it will be fantastic.
Yes, one day it will come.
Eventually.
Yes.
Oh, here they are.
What?
Oh, they're so fast.
There comes
Look at that.
Shapeways. Here we go, and this is exactly what happens. Seconds later,
Thank you, Shapeways.
we get from the
Creative Cloud
ideation
espresso cup.
to the actual 3D printed cup. This is a 3D
Yeah.
printed object from Photoshop, and it's ceramic.
Yeah, white
right?
ceramic. Okay.
Yeah.
If you drink, you don't die. Okay,
Yes.
it's safe. So this is what we wanted to say. Our mission at Adobe is to help you, of course, with this ideation process, but from A to Z. And what I really like is that Rufus and I, we are traditional designers, okay? But thanks to innovation, thanks to technology and the Creative Cloud, we can all become object designers, for instance. We can all reinvent ourselves. And the good news is that we also partners with Shapeways.com. So for the people in the room, okay, check your emails in the coming weeks because you will receive an email from Adobe and Shapeways, and you will get some credits so that you can create your own object, send it to Shapeways, and they will ship to your place your 3D object. Okay,
Or
so
if you're not inspired, you can always print Michael's cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You don't have to, okay? You're not obliged. I will be happy, but you don't have to. So, yeah, that's our final word. That's the Adobe Creative Cloud. You all know that it's, of course, the access to the best creative apps, such as Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, Premiere. But it's not only that. Our mission is really to innovate on the go in the Creative Cloud, to help you sharing your work, get feedback from all the creatives in the world and from your team, and also to reinvent yourself and become motion designers, become filmmakers, become web designers, or object designers.
Yes, mutate.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Change.
Mutation.
Yes. Well.
And today you will have fantastic speakers. We will also have a lot of creatives competing at the Creative Jam. And they are all, we think, new creatives trying to transform their skills to become better designers.
Yes, because this is our 5th Creative Jam on this tour, I think. And I think this is the biggest, biggest jam that we've actually seen so far. So 12 teams competing against each other, that's really cool.
So we are very excited.
Yes.
So maybe, Pieter, you can introduce the teams. Okay. So where are the teams?
Right, guys. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
I can't wait to try the cup.
Yeah. Good.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, I can't wait to try the cup.
can try
it's
it.
really beautiful. It's really
It's
smooth.
empty, but you can try.
Yeah. Well, you have to give me the shape, then I create some for the office. All right. We gaan weer terug naar het Nederlands. We gaan de teams aan u voorstellen, maar dat gaan we niet doen voordat we eerst het thema bekend hebben gemaakt. En eerlijk is eerlijk, we hebben natuurlijk al een klein beetje van de teams van tevoren ingelicht. Een uur geleden hebben de teams het thema te horen gekregen. En het thema voor vanmiddag is My Life is Crazy, but it's Real Love. Het thema komt van iemand die heel erg bekend is. Toevallig iemand die natuurlijk ook nog uit Nederland komt. Dat is Anton Corbijn. Iemand die op heel veel manieren, op een creatieve manier is bezig geweest. Zowel als fotograaf begonnen, maar later ook op allerlei manieren creatief met processen betrokken is geweest. Van muziek maken, fotografie, maar zelfs hoezen en allerlei andere designs die hij heeft gemaakt. Echt iemand waar we wel een leuk voorbeeld mee hebben, denk ik. Goed, het thema is bekendgemaakt. We gaan de teams aan u voorstellen. Dat gaan we in een redelijk rap tempo doen. Dat betekent dat als het team genoemd wordt, dan kunnen de teams naar de tafels gaan waar ze al hun spullen al eerder hebben geprepareerd om ook direct aan de slag te gaan. De teams gaan dat doen en straks gaan we natuurlijk stemmen. Dat stemmen gaan we doen in de afsluitingsceremonie. Die ceremonie betekent dat alle teams die meedoen, die 12 teams, 2 minuten de tijd krijgen om hun werk te gaan pitchen. En na afloop gaan we stemmen. De deelnemers stemmen in de eerste 2 rondes op elkaar. Dus we stemmen in motion design en graphic design. En daarna kunt u in de livestream ook gaan stemmen op de designs. Dat betekent dat u 1 stem gaat uitbrengen, overall, voor dat design wat u het meest aanspreekt, wat u denkt, wauw, dat is gaaf, daar wil ik wat mee. Nou, uiteindelijk zal daar natuurlijk de prijsuitreiking gaan plaatsvinden en dat is niet misselijk, want we hebben daar een fantastische prijs voor de deelnemers aan die Creative Jam. Zij krijgen van Wacom een Clintic, zo'n fantastisch tablet waar je niet alleen maar op kunt tekenen, maar ook nog een beeldscherm ingebouwd zit, zodat je nog meer direct de ervaring hebt van wat je aan het designen en aan het tekenen bent. En de deelnemers krijgen allemaal een 1-jarig abonnement, een lidmaatschap op Creative Cloud. Nou, denk ik absoluut iets om voor te strijden vanmiddag. Een waanzinnig mooie prijs die je ook meteen aan het eind van de middag mee naar huis kunt nemen. Goed, dan gaan we over tot het voorstellen van de teams. Het eerste team wat ik aan u wil voorstellen in de categorie Graphic Design is het team van Fontanel. Oké. Het tweede team, want we gaan het tempo er lekker in houden. Het tweede team, ook in de afdeling Graphic Design, is het team van Hans Snel. Het derde team wat vanmiddag gaat meedoen in de categorie Graphic Design is Team Roger. Geweldig. Het volgende team is Joint Creatives. En ook in de categorie Graphic Design is Blast Radius Amsterdam. Nou, we hebben nog een aantal Graphic Design teams te gaan, want daar hebben we er 8 van vandaag. Het volgende team is Enchilada. Dan hebben we Secret Super Collective. Klinkt ook heel erg mysterieus. We zijn ontzettend benieuwd wat daaruit gaat komen. En de volgende is Côte d'Azur. Ook nog steeds in de Graphic Design. Oké, dan gaan we over op de categorie Motion Design. Ook bijzonder spannend natuurlijk. Dat team wat we gaan voorstellen is het team van Arbanks. Ik heb uitgezocht waar het vandaan komt, maar het is de afkorting van een van de deelnemers. Goed, een volgende team is Cinemates. Wellicht kent u ze, is onlangs nog op televisie geweest, geloof ik. Dan zien we de mensen van Lipman, Hos en Van Vlijmen. Ja, het wordt hier steeds leger aan deze kant. En we hebben natuurlijk het Grafisch Lyceum Rotterdam. 4 mensen groot team. Oké, nou, daarmee kunnen we aan de slag. Even voor de mensen hier in de zaal, maar ook voor de mensen die met de livestream meekijken. U gaat naar @Adobe Nederland als u wil gaan kijken naar de Twitter-feed die daar is. Twitter vanmiddag over wat u ziet en wat u allemaal doet. Het zou leuk zijn als we dat vanmiddag allemaal rond 2:30 zouden kunnen doen. En we hebben ook nog een selfie-actie. Die selfie-actie betekent dat u een foto maakt van uzelf met in beeld de livestream waar u naar aan het kijken bent. Als u die gaat twitteren naar @Adobe Nederland en #CreateNow en u wordt geselecteerd, dan krijgt u een jaar lidmaatschap op Creative Cloud en ook nog eens een keer een abonnement op Fotolia. Een totaalwaarde van bijna €1700, dus absoluut iets om aan mee te doen. Goed, daarmee zijn we aan het eind gekomen van de introductie. We gaan zometeen kijken bij de teams in het eerste Jam Report wat er gaat gebeuren. En daarna geef ik het woord aan Sander Pepout, die hier u gaat vermaken met alles wat hij heeft gedaan in zijn creatieve carrière tot nu toe. Tot zometeen.